Hi, and welcome to the Monday morning messages, which are in the afternoon. And I'm Rachel Scoltock. I come on every Monday and I give you some angel cards, which I'm going to give you some readings. And I also give you some messages from the angels that I've brought through already when I meditate before I meet with you. So today is a public holiday in Australia. And I made a radical decision to take half the day off for me, because usually I do work on a Monday, this being my business. It's not the same as working for someone else. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm all pumped up from having loads of beautiful time in the sunshine and meditating and seeing dolphins and walking this morning. Hi, Anita. Can you hear me okay? And hi, Patricia. Thank you for being here. How is it where you are at the moment? So what I might do is I'm going to pull the cards for you first, and then I'm going to give you the angel message for the week as well. So I'm using the Angel and Ancestors deck, which has been on my mind a lot lately, to bring you a couple of cards, and we'll see what comes up for the current energy. Lovely to see you here. So it must be quite late, I imagine, in some parts of the world. Hi, Kathy. Thank you for joining. So let's pull a couple of cards for you. And what I'm doing is I'm asking the angels, I've invoked the angels. I'm asking the angels to bring through a message that is for the highest good of all, that you most need to know, that's going to trigger the answers that you need in your life. Hi, Erica. That's a lovely thing to say. Thank you so much. And thanks, Anita. Sunny and healing there in Queensland too. So it looks like we've got similar weather here on the mid-north coast of New South Wales. Okay. So, I'm getting to pull you 3 cards from this deck. And so that means I'm just going to bring you one card for, if you can hear weird noises, it's my washing machine. Yeah, after midnight in the US. Okay, thanks for being here, Patricia, because I know that that is quite late, and I usually do them in the morning here in Australia. Okay, so let's give you the cards for the week ahead. So very interesting messages this week that I've got to bring through for you around your energy and around really focusing in on what it is that you want, so that the angels can bring it to you. And they've been showing me how you block yourselves sometimes, and how sometimes you're drawing drama into your own life. So I'll talk about that in a second. So the first card you've got, which is the current situation, is the seer. So a seer in ancient times was a clairvoyant, someone who could look into the energy, look into the future, and bring forward messages. So for you, you might be able to see here that the angel or the person on the card has got a veil over their eyes. So they're asking you to look beyond what's obvious. And they're also telling me in my ear as I'm talking to you that you need to quit judging. So sometimes when we judge something, it's like we put a barrier up between us and whatever it is that we're judging. So whether it's ourselves or whether it's other people or a situation that we don't like, the minute we go into judgment about it, it's like we put a barrier up. And here the angels are showing you that barrier is preventing you, the judgment is preventing you from seeing deeper into your situation. And if you look at situations, people, relationships, everything that you've been through without judgment, you will start to see the deeper meaning, the lesson, maybe even the treasure that is locked inside. So a good example would be, let's say you are beating yourself up about something, or you look in the mirror and you're not being nice to yourself. And so we all know that when we're judging ourselves, we look in the mirror and we look for the worst things that probably most other people don't see. And even if they do see, it doesn't matter. But when you look at the judgment, you're missing the whole picture. You're missing something deeper. So you need to be able to see beyond the current situation of what you're in at the moment, and look for the blessings, look for the lessons, and sit with it without judgment and see what comes up, because there's important messages coming up for you. And so I do know, and I've done this myself, with intuitive people sometimes we're good at looking for the deeper message, right? We look for a meaning in everything, look for the signs. But sometimes we go a bit cliche with the meaning and we don't give ourselves time to really absorb the truth. And sometimes when we get an answer, that answer, hey Natalie, that answer might be something that's more deep. So for example, a cliche thing would be, okay, I've got a sore throat. How am I not speaking my truth? Because we know that the throat is related to your voice. It's related to how you communicate, related to your inner truth. But then again, maybe that's true, but maybe there's something a bit deeper that you need to look into. So sometimes we've got to peel back the layers a bit further than the cliches or the surface, right? If it resonates deeply and there's a really deep message, go for it. But if it isn't, then sit with it a bit longer. I promise you the angels will bring the messages through for you. Now, the second card is your guidance. This is for you at this moment on the planet, in your life. And this is the eagle, one of my most favorite birds. I watched an eagle this morning when I was sitting up on the cliffs. And the eagle teaches us, whenever I see eagle, I always remember to call on God, divine spirit, because I feel like eagle's always telling us to rise above and to look at things from a higher perspective, to look at, because when you step back from your life and the dramas and the difficulties and even the good stuff, sometimes if you're too close, you can't see. So this card is definitely saying, look at everything from the higher perspective. Now, can you see a theme already in the cards this week? We've got the seer, which is about your third eye. It's about perceiving things on a deeper level, removing judgment. And then we've got see things from a higher perspective, step back, start to take a higher view. So if you were to look at a conflict you're having with someone and you look at it from the lower view, it's about blame, it's about shame, it's about being right, it's about who's going to win, it's about making the other person wrong. But if you step back from it and you take your ego out of it, which is the small self, and you come into your higher self, what then can you see? Maybe there's something that you can learn from this. Maybe it's compassion. Maybe it's understanding not everyone has to agree. Maybe there's a higher path that's being presented to you at this time, and you're just not seeing it that way because you're too embroiled in the smaller self messages. So I would also say work with the angels to clear out your third eye and your spiritual sight. And then we have this beautiful mountain card, which is the outcome. Now, first up, without even looking at the words, we can see the mountain and the reflection of the mountain underneath it. And so it's reminding you that everything in your life is a mirror. So what can you learn? What's coming back at you? What is going on for you at the moment that you need to learn? And then the message is stand your ground. So maybe this is about really calling in your power. And mountains to me are all about, again, reaching a higher perspective, going beyond your small self, and also understanding the power of your presence, like really holding strong in your power and calling in the things that you need in your life. I really like those messages for you. So talking about the third eye, I get a lot of questions about psychic development, and that's a lot of the work that I do in my courses and my programs. And somebody asked me last week about dreams and getting lots of messages that they don't understand. So sometimes when you're in your third eye, which is your spiritual sight, there's an etheric eye, and it's also your brow chakra. So it's all to do with how you see the world, how your internal visions. So sometimes if you get a lot of nightmares, or you're getting depressed, or you get sad, or you see a lot of the bad in the world and in your life, it means that your third eye needs clearing, because all of your spiritual centers come from love. And if you're seeing with the eyes of fear instead of the eyes of love, then it's time for you to call on love, divine love, which is the energy of God, the energy of the divine, the source, whatever your name for God is, you call on that energy to work with you and realign you with the higher vision. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to go all Pollyanna and go, okay, I can't see any bad in the world. But what it does mean is that you are able to identify things that you maybe don't like, but you also identify ways to overcome them, to heal them, to see them in a different way, to take the lessons and the love. But you remain whole. You remain centered in love. And that's okay. That's called discernment. When you go into judgment and you go into your ego and you go into fear and you go into feeling blame, shame, anger, bitchiness, gossip, then I'm just giggling at what Natalie said. Then you are not in your third eye at all. And lots of, there are psychics in the world that have a filter of fear over their third eye. So when they predict things with a negative ilk, and you kind of feel yuck when you walk away from them because they tell you negative things. You might, horoscopes, things like that scare you. That doesn't mean anything bad is going to happen. It just means that that person is seeing the world through a filter of fear. And you might notice that you sometimes see the world through a filter of fear because you're a human and it's easy to tap into the mass consciousness, fear consciousness. So that's just a sign that you need to call on your angels, on God, divine spirit, and cleanse and purify your energy with divine love, light, to ground, to meditate, so that you can reach those higher levels of consciousness and you can start to see the world from a different way. And this sometimes happens to people who have been through big traumas. So if you've been through a trauma like childhood abuse or a bad accident or a horrible relationship breakup, then you can sort of find yourself seeing the world, yourself, everyone else through a filter of fear. And you need to bring it back to love, because that will disturb you, it will upset you, it will keep you perpetually in this motion of being stuck and feeling like nothing good can happen, and you lose your faith and you lose your hope and you start to kind of spiral a bit energetically. So the angels wanted you to know this week that everything in your life is affected by your energy. And the energy that you put out is what comes back to you. And this is a very simple energy 101. It's the most basic of the metaphysical laws that we all know, but we don't always act as if we know it. Not everybody believes it. And so if you're trying to make something happen in your life, let's just say you're trying to sell something, or you're trying to create a beautiful relationship, or you're wanting your business to succeed, and you put good energy in, right? You put in good energy and you're working on it. You're doing your manifesting. You're putting good energy into the actual activity. You're doing all the right things. Maybe you're making business cards. Maybe you're telling people about your business. Maybe you're advertising your house, whatever it is that you want to sell. But if it's in somewhere in your life, you are sending out a different kind of energy that may be completely unrelated to that subject. So let's just say someone is trying to boost their business. They're trying to make a lot of money. They're trying to attract more customers, and they're trying to get something wonderful out in the world. And that's going to really help their lives. But at the same time, they're hooked into drama, gossip, talking about the terrible things that are happening to them, complaining about how people don't help them, getting angry with the world and the state of the world, or maybe some of their customers. They are actually giving more energy to resisting the good stuff that wants to come in, because the universe is always on your side. The angels are on your side. There is nothing that is against you energetically except yourself. And so as soon as you say, I want to sell this house, I want to boost this business, I want to attract a soulmate, all of these things, as soon as you're doing that, the universe is sending angels. It's coming to work for you, with you. But if you're putting out another kind of energy, and you might be just a really genuine, beautiful person who's just feeling like, why are all these people treating me badly? But the more you get dug into that energy, of why and getting upset and angry and talking about it and complaining about it and telling other people about it and acting it out in your head, you are building a wall of resistance around you. And not only that, the angels said this to me, you are pouring fuel on the fire. It's like, imagine that you are a country and you want to have peace with all the other countries. But every time you're making a complaint, or you're sending out anger, or you're talking about how awful things are for you, you're firing bombs and you're sending gunfire. And that's a really great analogy, because we know how war works. You send a bomb, someone else sends a bomb. That's the way it works. It never ever heals, because it's in the lower level of conflict and fear. So the angels really wanted you to know this, is stop pouring negative energy on negatives in your life, because when you withdraw that energy, then you start to choose something else, maybe gratitude, maybe prayer, maybe you send love and blessings, maybe you just detach from it completely and don't think about it as much as possible. I'm not talking about when you go to your healer. I'm not talking about when you go and have therapy. But what I am talking about is in your everyday life. You need to stop firing those guns. You need to stop sending that energy. And even if it's about the president, even if it's about politics, even if it's about people you don't know, you can't do anything in a vacuum. It will always in some way come back. Now, you're not meant to be a perfect human being, but what we're working on here, and something that I just keep hearing over and over again for you and for my clients, is for the highest good. Whenever we work for the highest good and not just for our small self, we attract so much more positivity, support, abundance, power, love, joy, happiness, peace, all of the things that we want. So always think about, is this for the highest good? Is this for my highest good? Is this, is eating this meal, is speaking about this going to create highest good for me? Then it's going to create highest good for others as well. And that is what your angels are here for. They are not here as your personal genies to just fix everything for you and serve your ego. They're here to support you in your highest good, which is amazing, right? Because you waste less time. So I think it's okay to ask your angels for parking spaces, because I think it's a manifesting tool. Some people don't think that's okay, and I'm not I'm not criticizing that. But we always have to remember, the smoother and more peaceful our lives are, the less drama we have, the smoother and more peaceful our energy is. And that's what we radiate out. And that is what eventually will create peace on earth. So the more we align our thoughts, our intentions, our actions with highest good, the more highest good will come to us, and the more that energy radiates outwards, and we remember that we are one with everyone. So while I've been yakking, everybody here is saying, so Natalie saw a pair of wedge-tailed eagles. Is that what you mean by wedgies? I've never heard them called that before. That made me giggle. That's a really beautiful gift, because that was one of our cards, right? The angels. Hi, Laura. Hi, Brooke and Alita, Tracy, Emmy, Pam, Susan, Ida, Alana, and Danielle. Thank you. And Donna, thank you so much for being here. So have a wonderful rest of the Monday or Sunday night if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And thank you so much for tuning in for this reading. If you missed it, you can watch the replay, and I will see you next Monday, if not before. I do have a place come up in my Rich Radiant Angel program, which is one-on-one coaching. We work together to heal all of the blocks that are sabotaging your life. We get your energy right. We get your consciousness right. We align everything to manifest what it is that you want to create in your life. There's lots of guidance. There's lots of one-on-one powerful energy therapy. And I'm just coming to the end of a session with one beautiful soul. So it's a 6 or 12 week program of one-on-one sessions with me. You get meditations, you get mantras, you get follow-up support, so you can contact me in between sessions. We do a lot of healing, and it's really changing lives. So if you are interested in that, it's called Rich Radiant Angel. please contact me. I'll give you some information, and we can chat for free and talk about whether that is the right thing for you. If you're healing trauma, if you're ready to boost your business to a higher level, if you are letting go of something and you're finding it really hard to let go of and heal it, then I'm your woman. I'll be able to really help you with all of that and bring in those higher energies so that you can leave the past behind. Thank you so much, everyone. Erica, nice to see you here. Needed to hear this. Been a bit sad lately and been meditating every day, and that's really great. Meditation really does connect you to higher consciousness and helps you to let go of those lower vibes. Hi, Dina. It's always lovely to see you too. Hi, Sharon and Alita. I'll see you next week. Mwah. Angel blessings. Look out for my blog.